Hello everyone, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I am doing pretty good for Monday. It's Thanksgiving weekend just ended. Hopefully it was a good weekend for you. It was okay for me. And I wanted to talk about some, when you're first going through this stuff, you're scared, you're nervous, and you go to your doctor, right? You go to your primary care doctor. Doctor, he doesn't really know what to think. He thinks it could be the most common thing, which is BP, PV, post-benign, postural vertigo, where it's the crystals in your head. Okay, because, some doctors, even though they're primary care, do know somewhat about that. And, but he sends you to an ENT. So you go to an ENT. And ENT is like, okay, well, you're telling me you're having trouble hearing sometimes. You have tinnitus in your ears, vertigo, off balance, all these things. Now, I can't see any of that. We have to run some tests, okay? Because the way to diagnose Meniere's disease is symptoms, but it's also you got to do testing to rule out certain things. So I'm going to talk about 3 of those right today. First one is going to be hearing test. Okay, because I want to get a baseline of what your hearing is compared to, what it's supposed to be and all that stuff. And because if you have vestibular migraine, you're not going to get the hearing loss or the tinnitus. So that's what they're trying to rule out, okay, vestibular migraine with the hearing test. And also, to help you with your hearing in case you need hearing aids or whatever. The second thing they're going to do is a migraine, an MRI, which is one straight MRI. They take the classic pictures. The second is going to be a contrast, which they put a dye in you and it lights up the little things so they can get a better look at the cochlears, because now they're looking at the cochlears and the nerves. Okay, and the reason why they're looking at your nerves is it's the acoustic nerve, because they're looking to see if you might have an acoustic neuroma, and because that can cause vertigo, everything. And generally, if you do have that, it's good, because it's good and it's bad. You gotta have surgery to remove it. But a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, it's benign, so it's not something that's going to kill you even if you leave it there. But I've had a couple friends of mine that have had that removed. I had a cousin have it removed. And that's it. You remove it, you're probably going to be deaf in whatever ear it's in, nerve it's on. Because your balance nerve and your acoustic nerve ride like that. They're right on top of each other. They're probably almost connected. And sometimes it's hard to get that nerve out without damaging your without damaging the acoustic, without damaging that nerve. So you might. But that's what they're looking for. And if they don't see that, then they can go down the line and say, okay, there's no tumor on the acoustic nerve, so most likely it is Meniere's. Let's just do a CT scan. So they'll do the CT scan too, which is nothing. It's like an X-ray. You're in there for 30 seconds and you're out. And there they're looking at your temporal area, this area here, to see if there's any damage in there, because sometimes there can be. They're looking at your temporal bone, so sometimes they do that. Just to make sure. I had it done. I'm sure other people have had it done. I especially had it done before I had my laparoscopy, because if you're going to have a laparoscopy or a shunt surgery, you want a doctor to have a picture of your head. You don't want him guessing while he's in there, because everybody can be a little different. So you want them to have a CAT scan or a picture of your cochlear if they're going to operate on that, or if they're going to do the shunt surgery. So yeah, you kind of want that. I would be pushing for that. So, and the other one, I said I wasn't going to get into it, but I'll talk about it, because it's hard for me to explain it. But it's called a VNG test, and that tests your balance, basically. And a lot of it is simple stuff. They put a thing over your head, the goggles, and you're following a series of dots around. You do want to bring somebody with you when you have this test because it will give you vertigo. Every time I've had it, I've gotten sick. So you do want to bring somebody with you. And so they want to see how fast your eyes are moving, or if what the nystagmus is on your eye. So it's a good test. It's not that difficult. You're really not doing much at all except sitting there looking at dots. The only part of it is, the last part of it is, they put cold air or cold water in one ear. Then they put hot, and then they use hot air or hot water in your ear. Then they do the same thing on the other side. Now the cold doesn't bother me, but the heat, now that bothers me. Doesn't mean it's going to bother you, okay? Let's get that straight. It bothers me. It really hurt. It kind of hurts. I don't know why. And like I said, last time I had it, it hurt because then I said, maybe it's because of the tube that you put in my ear. And they were like, oh yeah, we shouldn't have done that. Like, yeah, thanks. Because they did. They cut open my eardrum, so that heat was probably killing it. And I almost jumped out of the table. But before that, I never had an issue with it. So yeah, I said I was going to talk about 3. I did talk about 4. The 4th one is just, it's not that bad. A lot of people get nervous about it because they might get vertigo. Just bring somebody with you, okay? And you'll be okay. It's not that bad. And those are really, the 4 tests I use to diagnose. Because the thing with they do the balance test and nystagmus is because when your cochlea ruptures, right, some of that fluid, which is, it's potassium, whatever, it's mostly potassium, but it's almost like the stomach acid in your stomach, the acid in your stomach. So when it ruptures and it gets on the nerve, that causes nerve damage, and that's what causes the fluctuating hearing or hearing loss, and the balance too, because it hits the balance nerve too. Because what I tell you before, acoustic nerve, balance nerve, they're right there. And that will disrupt your balance, and that's why we get the vertigo. So I hope this helps some new people, and a refresher for us that are veterans of this. A lot of people say newbies. I don't like that term, so I will call you new people. And I hope this helps somebody, maybe calm somebody down. Don't be so worried about it, okay? MRI tests, I have to get knocked out personally because I am severely claustrophobic from, I was doing construction on the weekends when I was 18, and I had a ditch cave in on me. And ever since then, I've been very, very claustrophobic. So, yeah, I won't even go into the car. I'm afraid it's going to fall on me. So, that's just me. So they'll knock me out. So I don't even know what they're doing with an MRI. But the other tests, they're not that bad. I mean, the hearing test, you kind of get a little worried because you think you hear a noise and you don't, and you think you don't hear a noise, and they did make a noise because it's kind of, boop. Can you hear this? Can you hear that? And then they put the static behind it. So it's kind of like, ugh, God, can't wait for this to get over. But it's not that bad. And the MRI is not that bad. And the CAT scan definitely isn't bad. And the VNG, a lot of people get nervous about it. And like I said, it might give you vertigo. But the thing is, you know what? You got to have it done. Just bring somebody with you. And that's what I do. I just bring somebody with me. And then I go home. So I hope that helps somebody, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Better days coming. And just a little bit of a warning, and I don't want to turn this into that. The scammers are out in full force. Okay? It's the end of the month, beginning of the month. I have blocked and banned so many people of these scammers because I could pick them out. I could pick them out like that. So just be aware, if one or two of them get into a group that you follow, report it to admins so they can delete the post and block and remove them from the group. Okay, because they are literally out in full force, and some of them are getting smart. Okay, they're actually looking up what the disease is and typing stuff. So you got to be very, very wary of the admins. You got to be very, very wary of who's trying to get in your group. So on that note, guys, hey, have a great Monday night. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.